Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Big show for you today, and big show for you tomorrow as well. Don't forget, we've got the MH370 flight mystery that we'll be exploring with a person who has just a really incredible theory that I think you're going to enjoy hearing about. Whether you believe it or not, that'll be up to you. So we'll see. That's tomorrow, MH370, and the disappearance thereof. Also today, we've got Steve Baker coming in about an hour and a half. He'll be at the bottom of the second hour. We'll get an update from him on what he's going through and the January 6th situation. But we thought we'd start today with a feel-good story.
Oh, cool.
Of real American heroes. People who risked their lives for a total stranger. Check this out.
Yeah, this is an interesting video. I got the car on fire here. I think this is Minnesota, and we can kill the audio on this, I guess. But look at this, man. I mean, this is...
Yeah, I mean, that thing's really on fire.
And see how the guardrail is blocking the door, and so these strangers have to sit there and pry it. I mean, this is my America right here.
Yep.
This is awesome.
I mean, that thing is really blazing. Jeez.
Yeah, and then,
they keep at it. They come back.
Gosh, look at this. I mean, this is...
Man.
That's intense.
Yeah, it is.
And then there was like, I just turned away there, so I might already missed the explosion. Yeah, there's the explosion. Yeah, look at that. It's knocking people down.
Jeez.
I mean, this is critical.
And
they got the person out.
Yep.
Was it a guy or a girl? Do we know? I couldn't find a... Old man? Oh, wow.
It was an old man? Really? Wow.
Probably shouldn't have been driving anyway.
Right, probably not. That's probably
true. Could have
true.
avoided that from happening in the first place if you just stay home.
Right.
But anyway, I'm glad they saved him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they saved him.
What are you doing if you see him?
Stay off the road, old man. That's what I'm yelling to him.
It would have never happened.
Yeah. Right.
But if you're seeing that, right, and you're driving in traffic, you stopping to help?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
I am.
All right.
Yeah,
you had to think about it. You're like, I'll stop.
Yeah, I'll stop.
I mean, you got to direct traffic and make sure people,
right,
have their space to help out.
Or at least watch what other people are doing.
Definitely watch.
Okay, first of all, you got to have somebody that records it, or else 100%. We wouldn't be able to know all the goodness in the world. You got to have a couple people out there waving people so they don't run into them while they're trying to help them out.
Exactly.
So
it takes all kinds.
There are other places
to make that a happy
besides
story.
In the fire pit.
Yeah.
To help out.
It's really hot in the fire pit. Yeah. No, thank you. I don't like heat.
And I love how they try to open the door. I'm like, idiot. You can't open the door. That's why the guy can't come out.
Right.
And then at the end, they're like, oh, let's break the window. Now you want to break the window?
Should have started with the window.
Dummies. What morons.
So dumb.
Idiots.
So dumb. Anyway, happy Thursday? Is that where we're at in the week?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is.
Happy
Thursday already. Wow. So, President Braindead made the rounds yesterday. He was discussing Ukraine when he met briefly with the press.
Reports, I find this amazing, the reports of cheers breaking out of the trenches in eastern Ukraine probably came from one of your folks, a reporter or someone, I'm not sure where it came from, but that they're cheering as they watch the House vote in support for Ukraine.
Hold on.
In the
trenches?
Like
they don't understand
they got
what we've
TVs
done.
In the trenches?
Not like they don't understand how critical this is for them.
What are you talking about? So they're watching it.
They're watching C-SPAN.
They're watching
America.
C-SPAN 2 or whatever. While they're fighting the Russians.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Really? In the trenches, they're watching C-SPAN 2.
How bad can it be over there if you've got
can't be that bad,
internet
right?
and
can't be
TV
that bad.
in the trenches and stuff?
Right?
Because that's what he said. He said they're watching it in the trenches.
Yeah, they said that's what he said. I'm just going with what he said. So obviously they have iPads. All right. Obviously, they don't have television screens. They've got iPads there, iPhones. What?
Trenches have come a long way in the last 100 years.
They have.
I'll tell you that.
Yes, they have. That's not the trench that my grandfather was in. Tell you that.
Wow.
Of course, my grandfather, I don't think was in a trench.
Yeah. Don't get hung up on
But
details.
let's not get hung up on that.
When I think of trenches, I think of World War I.
Yes.
And the Maginot Line.
Yeah.
And apparently you get Wi-Fi, cell service. You can communicate back home. You can cheer.
Yeah.
In the
Yay!
trenches.
They're sending us another $61 billion that we could buy beach homes with. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo!
That's great. Gosh, he's the worst.
Help us. Good stuff.
Then he shuffled away without taking any questions.
Of course.
As
I thank you
usual.
all very much, and I'm going off to make a speech at the hotel I'm late for, and I'm plenty of time to answer questions on this and other matters.
Can I ask a quick one on TikTok? Mr. President, do you have a message for the protesters on campus?
Vigor.
Mr. Bob.
Why do they do that when they know? I guess because sometimes he stops, and they're hoping that he will. But lately, he just walks off, and they babble endlessly until he finally disappears. And he arrived at the next speech.
Hold on. He's a zombie walking.
He has no idea where he is.
Oh,
and there's the fake jog.
Yeah, we got it.
Ah! The fake jog again.
Painful. It's just
Again.
painful.
Why? I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it does. It just pisses me off.
Okay. All right. Looking out for your health, your blood pressure. Do you want less of Joe Biden? Is there a particular kind of clip of Joe Biden you want less of? Is there something we can do, or do we need to keep informing the public, especially in an election year?
Well, that's why we keep doing it.
Okay.
It's an election year.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help.
He told a story about boots yesterday, which is great.
The guy has never worked a day
Trump.
in working man's boots. By the way, you gave me a pair of boots as a gift, by the way.
What?
I know how to put them on. I still sometimes cut the yard. The Secret Service doesn't let me do it anymore.
There's so much rambling there. He's talking about Trump.
I'd love to know if he ever once mowed the White House lawn. The Secret Service won't let him do it anymore. He doesn't mow his lawn in Delaware. He doesn't mow his lawn anywhere.
Hang on. You're using a phrase that man did not say. Now,
He cut his lawn.
Normal Americans would say,
Yes.
I mowed the yard.
Yes.
I cut the lawn. Shut up. Look, see, he doesn't even know how to describe it. That's
Right.
how little he's done.
True. That's true. Is he saying Trump gave him boots?
Yes.
Trump
No.
gave him boots.
That's
as a
what.
gift?
That's the way I read that.
That's
clip.
what it sounded like.
No.
Play it again.
I don't.
Play it again.
The guy has never worked a day in working man's boots. By the way, you gave me a pair of boots.
By the way, he gave me a
As
pair of
gift,
boots.
by the way. I know how to put them on.
You don't know
I
how
still
to
sometimes cut the yard.
Put on boots?
The Secret Service doesn't let me do it
cut the
anymore.
yard. He sometimes cuts the yard, and the Secret Service doesn't let him do it anymore. Okay.
I think that
Wow, that guy is messed up, start to finish.
who gave him boots? I don't think it was.
It sounds like he's speaking of Donald Trump. Gave him boots. I wouldn't surprise me
Hang on a second.
if Donald Trump gave him boots.
Joe
I bet he
Biden's
did.
haul of presidential gifts last year was worth $46,000 and included fancy pens, leather boots, and a solar
But who
wristwatch.
gave him the boots? But who gave them to him?
I don't know. I'm not paying Fortune magazine
Yeah, I know. I
for
hate
the
that.
article.
I hate that. All right, so he doesn't know how to put the boots on. Okay, there's so much there.
I know. That's why I say.
And for him to accuse Trump of never working a day in his life.
That's enraging. That's enraging.
He's been in Congress since he was 29 years old, earning money from us.
Yeah, and before that, it was all government jobs too.
Yeah, exactly.
All he's known is the public teat.
It's all he's done is sponge off the public. At least Trump has worked in the private sector, oversaw the building of skyscrapers, casinos, you name it. The guy has been there and been a part of that. What have you done? What? That is unbelievable.
By the way, it was the Australian Prime Minister
They gave him boots?
They gave him boots, Scott Morrison.
Okay.
$500 pair of boots. And people think it was because he was trying to get a one-on-one meeting with Biden, which he didn't get. Oh, boy, you missed out
Even
on
with
that,
the
Scott.
boots?
Yeah.
Wow. Should have been a $5,000 pair of boots, I guess, because $500, that we spit on $500 boots in Texas. We spit on them.
Yeah.
After or before we buy them?
Well, if somebody shows them to
I don't. You spit. Okay.
Yeah, I spit when somebody shows me the $500 boots.
You spit on them.
I spit on them.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Like deja vu here. Yeah.
And he was apparently advising violence against former President Donald Trump.
Think about the guys you grew up with. You like to get into the corner and just give them a straight left.
Yeah, like you.
I'm not suggesting we hit
Piece
the
of
president.
crap. I'm not suggesting that. No, I wasn't suggesting you in the face either. I wasn't suggesting that, Secret Service. I'm not suggesting that I would do that. I'm talking about other people like him, not him.
Yeah, people similar to.
Yes, somebody really very similar to him, but not him.
I got a dog that would like to meet him. I hear he's good with dogs.
I heard you had a dog that loved Joe Biden.
Last night. Yeah.
That's great.
Head to my Twitter feed.
It's got a little Biden chew toy.
Got a Biden chew toy. And
chewed it up.
And the toy lost an arm last night. There was extreme violence.
But it was just something,
the toy.
Somebody like Joe Biden that was being depicted, not Joe Biden. So, okay, well, good.
Man, I swear, this guy.
He's the absolute worst. Again, he's the worst human to ever occupy the office. He's done the worst job, and he's the worst human being. And I don't want to hear anybody say anymore like Lindsey Graham did. Oh, he's a wonderful man. Shut up.
Yeah, and if you don't think so, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsey.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And I mean this with all due respect, sincerely. It just came to mind here. Mm-hmm. Nothing against Walmart greeters, but I would not hire this man to be a Walmart greeter.
Oh, for sure.
You don't want him around kids.
Right.
You don't trust him around merchandise.
Yeah.
You want him greeting people, sniffing people,
Right.
touching,
making
small talk.
Nope. I don't want to be touched by Walmart greeters. That's just a thing, you know. I don't want to be touched really by much of anybody. But Walmart greeters, that's a definite no. And he would definitely touch me.
Yeah, forget everything you know about him and his political past. just what you know of him, personal. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, can you imagine him in that role with the public?
No, I can't.
Greeting everybody that enters your store. Now, bonus round. Uh-huh. Now he's the leader of the free world, this guy that we can't even stand to put in front of a Walmart. I mean, this... Help us. How much time? How many days are left?
I go back to the Obama administration. I thought I disliked Barack Obama. I loved him like my dad compared to this guy. Like my dad. In comparison to Joe Biden. Seriously. Same with, and Bill Clinton, he could have been my wife in comparison. Oh. Right? Come on.
It is so Overton window. I will never forget. I was sitting at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
In Clinton, how ironic. Clinton Township, New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
And it's during the Obama presidency. And you remember that press conference where Obama hands it over for questions to Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
I sat up in my chair and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, please. Is Bill Clinton back? Please?
I know.
But when Bill Clinton was president, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world.
I remember we were at a station event in I think Hartford, Connecticut, when he was elected, and I wept when Bill Clinton was elected. Not for joy, right. I assure you. I actually cried because I couldn't stand this guy so much.
I got it, man.
And then, so I can't, but was it in, it must have been 92 because by 96 I was back in Salt Lake City. So yes, it was 92. I actually cried at the event.
I get it.
I wept.
Yeah.
In front of listeners. I wept.
But now, what would you give to have Clinton instead of
Oh
Biden?
Right? Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
By the way, 270 days remaining in this presidency. 270. That feels like a lifetime.
I tell you, it's incredible. Yes, Overton windowed to the extreme.
So here's a question: as much as we despised Bill Clinton and his presidency. And then we got Obama, and we're like, oh, my gosh, I missed the Clinton days.
Yep.
Now we have Biden. We're like, oh, my gosh, I missed the Obama days. Is there something beyond Biden where we're going to look back at Biden and go, oh,
a Biden second term? I think we'll be looking back at the first term saying, man, if we could only have that first term back.
A Biden second term. Have you seen Tales from the Crypt? That's a Biden second term.
For sure. I mean, it is inconceivable in every possible way what would happen to this country under a second term of this guy. It really is. This is it, gang. This is it.
Here we go.
This is live or die for America.
There we go.
270
days.
5 hours.
That's nice.
43 minutes and 47 seconds.
We're going to bookmark this. I'll tweet this out if you want this.
Those seconds aren't ticking by fast enough.
I know. Let's go.
Where do you go for that? That's fun.
It's,
that's really kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
It's a really long thing. Tickcounter.com.
How did you find it, though?
I just Googled.
Googled
this
Biden
is the first thing that came up.
Countdown clock?
Let's see what I typed
What'd that
in.
do?
I typed in Biden countdown clock.
Yeah, okay.
And it's the top thing that comes up. But we'll tweet this out at Keith Malek
Biden countdown
at Pat
clock.
Unleashed. Yeah.
That's
so
a good one.
That's a great one. I love that.
That needs to be like a screensaver.
Yeah, it does.
It just needs to stay active.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to put it on this TV. So
Nice.
Man. All right. Let me tell you about Undertack. You already know about Sierra Whiskey Company. They're the people that bring us the Undertack. The revolutionary boxers that are changing the game. Well, they just unveiled a whole bunch of new products this year, and now they offer socks and joggers and T-shirts and sweatshirts, all made in America and embody the same rugged spirit you've come to expect. Their socks are made of battle weave wool, which is 5 times stronger than merino. They're ring-spun cotton hoodies and joggers, incredibly comfortable. And every patriot needs the EDC T-shirt 3-pack. Remember, Undertack isn't your typical men's boxers. They're made with modal. That's like cotton, just way better. It's 50% more moisture wicking. It's antibacterial, and it's just a lot softer.
Yeah, I absolutely love.
We've mentioned other underwear in the past that we thought was great until we tried Undertack. So much better. They're awesome. Stays in place with a sturdy, comfortable, extra wide waistband. The fly design is great, straightforward. Undertack is durable, ultra lightweight, fade resistant, shrink resistant, and if all that's not enough, they donate a portion of their profits to organizations actively in the fight against human trafficking. So stock up your drawers today. Undertack.com. That's Undertack, undertac.com. Get 20% off site-wide when you use my offer code PAT20. PAT20 to get exceptional comfort. Twice the guarantee, a fraction of the price. Undertack, undertac, undertac.com.
Beware, Pat Gray is unleashed.
All right. Let's go to the phone real quick. Talk to Maggie in Texas. Hey, Maggie.
Hey, guys.
Hey. What's up?
Bingo!
Oh, nice.
Woohoo!
Good job. That's how you do it. All right. Maggie, where'd your bingo happen?
The second row down and across.
Okay.
Keith says Bizarro World. Jeffy says fitness.
Yep.
John Pecker says no.
All right.
You guys ruin a good story.
Yep, just did that.
Pat uses his wife's glasses.
Beautiful. All right.
job.
Thanks a lot, Maggie. We're going to send you we got you all set up with your address and all that?
You sure do.
Okay. Thanks a lot. So she wins the merchandise from packrayshop.com and the dozen cookies. Yeah, $30 worth of merch. And the dozen cookies from Kexi.com. And by the way, we've got the Mother's Day box now. It's really
I've been looking at that this entire 19 minutes.
quite lovely.
When
Have
are
you?
you going to open that?
Yeah.
Poor Jeffy not here.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's gonna whine and complain about this. Look, I can't help it.
Right.
If you can't stick it out one extra day during the week.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
We did offer him Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Yeah. And what's he doing? He's
Gotta
home.
get my beauty
He's
sleep.
home in bed. And there's no doubt he needs it. But that's a different story.
Different story.
Am I right?
So,
That's a different
so what's
story.
this card in here you're holding up?
Okay, so the card tells you what's in it.
Okay.
So you got the.
I like a guide like that.
I'm gonna need my. Now we've already done
See,
the
look at
bingo,
that.
so
Need your glasses.
Glasses again?
just as based on need, not because this is fulfilling any bingo card. But we have the coconut, the chocolate coconut, which is this. Oh my gosh, look at that!
Oh, look at
so
there.
Delicious.
It's like a two-tone.
We have the lemon blueberry.
That one is my favorite.
I love lemon
Has a
blueberry.
little blueberries on top.
And we've upped our lemon. Now, up yours. So
Upped
the
your
lemon
lemon.
taste
Oh,
is
wow.
really,
A
really
little bit more.
Did you
prevalent.
add in more lemon than the last time? Because I know last time you added more
I
lemon.
think it was from last time.
Okay.
I think that's a
Because I'm
carryover.
like, yes, please.
Yes. Then we have the turtle, turtle cookie,
Yep.
which is phenomenal.
Tastes like Mitch McConnell.
No,
no,
it does
don't
not.
do that.
No. This is the Cherry Garcia.
Oh, nice.
That's
phenomenal. The chocolate chip cookie, which is the best,
Classic.
for my money, the best chocolate chip cookie on this planet. And then the horchata, which is a Mexican kind of cookie, I guess, for Cinco de Mayo. Horchata. The horchata. All right, so that all comes in the Mother's Day, which you can get now, but you gotta order these fast because we always sell these boxes out really quickly. They're beautiful and they're filled with phenomenal cookies. Keksi.com, KEKSI.com.
Heavy duty box there too.
That's a nice
Yes.
box.
Repurpose, if
It
you
is.
will.
Yes, indeed. The Christmas box went, I think, at about an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So get yours while you can.
Nice.
But so obviously there's cookies for one and all while they last.
Make sure we take them all, Chris. I don't
Oh,
want
100%.
any left for Jeff.
For Jeffy, yes. He gets 0.
Last time I did save them for him.
You did.
I did.
But this is not
and he
last time.
still whined about it. I know. I heard you yesterday say that you were going to bring them in. Okay,
It's like
but
he's
I didn't.
here.
But
It's
I didn't.
like he's
Yeah,
here.
it is, isn't it? It is. All right. So back to Joe Biden.
Really?
Because
Come
he
on.
is so wonderful and was spectacular yesterday. We saw the fake jog. We got a lie about Donald Trump. I mean, he hit us with all the favorites. Then he also screamed for no apparent reason again. I mean, this is just some weird thing he does now. He starts yelling in the middle of, and it's usually not even something that should get him so excited.
Right.
Not in my household, not in my neighborhood.
What?
I-
What's not in your
I don't know,
household?
and I didn't even care to know. I just think we need that as a drop.
I love it.
I hope,
yes,
I
we
hope,
do.
I hope Just Too Muck and Fudge is listening for future
Not in my
bingos.
household. Oh,
So please
jeez.
grab that,
Dude.
Chris.
Your dentures are going
Not
to
in
fall
my
out of your
household,
face. Stop
not
it.
in my neighborhood.
Why this guy?
It's something about Trump, I'll bet. That's when he gets the most worked up. And here was his crowning achievement for the day.
Oh no!
Crowning achievement. Because I think you predicted this.
Yesterday I said we're gonna get
Another one of these.
teleprompter moment where he's just reading the direction on the stage.
And he did. Here it is.
Imagine what we can do next.
What?
4 more years. Pause.
Hit it again.
Oh my
Hit
gosh.
it again, Joe.
And
the
then,
top.
and then he's so pleased with himself, he smiles. 4
Imagine
more
what we
years.
can do next.
4 more years.
4 more years. Pause.
You can't be serious. And yet, there it is again. We talked about this with the cue cards last week.
Yep.
The giant
Yeah.
word where it says pause, they have it in all caps, and it's bracketed so that you know that's not something you say, douchebag. That is something that's an instruction to you. When you see the word pause, you just pause. You don't say the word. 4 more years. Pause.
That needs to be on a shirt.
Because they know.
That's a shirt.
That's a shirt right
That's
there.
a shirt.
4 more years, pause.
And his people learned an important lesson. He can't do it. He can't even do that. And so if you're going to say 4 more years, just let it happen. Don't put the pause there because let the people start chanting it like morons.
Here's what.
Oh, my God.
Here's what you do. In the teleprompter, you put 4 more years, and then it's just blank space. Just blank space. And yeah, you're going to get the dope staring off at the teleprompt thing like, there's nothing there. But at least there's nothing for him to say and screw up.
Right.
Imagine what we can do next.
Okay, I'm imagining.
4 more years. Pause. 4 more years.
Love it. 4 more years.
And then the union thugs jump in to save him.
Yep.
Play that one more time. I want to Google what was behind him there.
Imagine what we can do next.
What? What can you do next?
4 more years. Pause. 4 more years.
Seriously.
You couldn't. You know what? If this were a naked gun script.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just, you wouldn't believe. Okay, it's a North American Building Trade Union. Okay, fine. Well, good. Congratulations on them for rescuing him. 4 more years.
Yeah, because if this was...
Pause.
Had that been Trump, they'd be talking about how compromised he is mentally right now. They would be talking about, look, we've been telling you, this guy's worse than Biden, and you're not paying attention to it. This guy is out of control, bad. But they've completely ignored it. I haven't seen this anywhere. Have you? I don't know. The Foxes even run this. It is unreal how this guy keeps doing this.
I mean, it's all over Twitter.
So bad. Yeah. So bad.
And what I think Chris was right the other day that the old man's just trying out new material now.
Oh, he is for sure.
Oh, yeah, especially after this clip that Pat brought up.
Yeah, we got to play this joke about Trump's hair. This is pathetic. Check this out.
By the way, remember when he was trying to deal with COVID, he said, just inject a little bleach in your veins.
No, he didn't say that.
He missed it. All went to his hair.
Oh, yeah, let's stand up. I'm union guy. Stand up.
I should have said that.
No, he didn't say that. I love how he emphasizes the lie. He said that. No, he didn't. You lying sack of garbage. He didn't say it. All right, I can't take any more of him. I can't. I can't stand to look at him. A, it's not true. It's a flat-out lie. B, wasn't even funny.
I know.
It's not even funny. That's a dumbass joke. I mean,
and not only that,
so very pleased.
It's a joke that required a step
yes.
that didn't even exist to get to the punchline.
Right.
Remember he said put bleach in you? It went to his hair. Well, he never said that, so you can't get to point B, doofus.
Yeah.
That's some.
But he doesn't let any facts bother him or get in the way of his BS.
Some 28-year-old punk that works there at the White House wrote that joke and thought, this is so funny.
Oh, Joe's going to love this. He's going to love this.
Like I said, he's trying new material.
Yeah, he is.
He's trying new material.
Yes, he is. So here's what Trump actually said. You go back to it, and you remember it was uncomfortable, and it was a little weird. But here's what he actually said. A question that probably some of you were thinking of if you're totally into that world, the world of COVID, which I find to be very interesting. So he's just really kind of free-forming here, which he shouldn't always do. So supposedly we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that that hasn't been checked. He's speaking like to one of the experts. But you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting, right? And then I see the disinfectant. He never uses the word bleach. Never says inject bleach. Where it knocks it out in 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that? By injection inside or almost cleaning? Because you see, it gets in the lungs, and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that's what he said. He's talking about disinfectant inside the body. He doesn't really know how it goes in there or how you would do this, but he's asking the experts to look into it.
Maybe we need a fact check on that after the break, huh?
Yeah, maybe. We'll get one. Coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. Thanks for being with us. Got some tweets here. Jimmy Dimples tweets. I'd like to give Biden a boot. Out of the White House with my vote in November. Ooh, thank you for clarifying, because we're about to send the Secret Service to your home. Lone Wolf 2965. I'm sorry, but what has Joe done in the private sector? He was a big rig driving lumberjack lifeguard waterman. That's all.
That's fair. Thanks for reminding us. We have a short memory.
Yeah, that's right.
It's almost as bad as Joe's.
We talk about it all the time, and yet we forgot momentarily. So thank you for that, Lone Wolf. Tamara B. If I saw creepy Joe at the entrance of Walmart greeting people, I would turn around and go to Target. And I'm boycotting Target because of Pride Month.
Good stuff.
Eckert and Tom, never have we been led by someone so totally lost, mostly to evil. I think that's true. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. That 4 more years chant sounded like there were about 10 people there.
It sure did.
Yeah. And it was awkward.
Yeah,
and they were just trying to cover his screw up. So that's great. Let's go back to that screw up. Back to Joe Biden and his pause for a moment, if we could.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
4 more years. It gets worse every time.
Gosh. Oh, man. God. Incredible. Stephanie Parker reminded us of this clip from an Old Friends episode. I think you're going to like this.
Yeah.
What the hell are you still doing here?
I think you know.
Bastard.
I am what you made me. You know what? I could go right now.
Go! Go!
I can't. Oh, I want to, long pause. But I can't.
So sorry.
Dude, sorry.
You're not supposed to say long pause.
Listen to this. Oh, I thought that was your character's name. You know? I thought you were like an Indian or something, you know?
No. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, there you
So
go.
you don't want me to do it?
I wish we could do that with Biden. Thank you so much for coming in, but we're all out of time. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. We'll give you a call. Don't call us. We'll call you.
I thought that was your name, like you're an Indian or something. Long pause.
It's funny.
That is good stuff.
Oh, man. You forget how funny that show was.
Yep.
Wow, it ended, what, 20-some years ago? Ended 20-some years ago? Shoot.
Where does the time go, man?
I know. It's incredible. Here was another clip of Joe the other day that we didn't play. This is accusing Donald Trump of telling lies.
Oh, gosh.
How
I
ironic.
think, whether the press thinks I'm good, bad, or indifferent,
You're
I
bad.
think they acknowledge that there's less than truth comes out of the other guy's mouth. And, you wouldn't know it from what you're reading here, but, we're in pretty good shape in the polls.
No.
Wait.
He's lying as he's talking about Trump's lies.
Wait, in fact,
Incredible.
didn't the... I think this was right before or right after. Within 10 seconds on either side of this was when he's talking about driving an 18-wheeler.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
That was the same speech that he said he was an 18-wheeler driver. Yes.
Wow.
But it's the other guy who's telling the lies.
So, 18-wheeler. He was a lumberjack with Boise Cascade. He was the waterman somewhere. I don't know where.
Baltimore?
It was Baltimore? Yeah. What were some of his other former career moves? So many.
And how did he have time for all that career
I
stuff?
don't
Because he
know.
was spending so much time in religious institutions.
Yes. Yeah, in black churches.
Yep.
And the Puerto Ricans.
And
Yeah.
he was a professor, as we know.
Oh, professor. Right. Taught
Law.
constitutional law. Yeah. Guy's pretty well-rounded, from truck driver to constitutional law professor at Penn. That's a varied resume right there.
American dream.
Yeah,
He's
no
living
wonder
the
he's
American-
president.
yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, speaking to his lie about Trump and the injecting bleach into your body thing, even who did this? PolitiFact.
Yeah.
PolitiFact fact-checked it. This piece was published June 11th, 2020, so a long, like 4 years ago almost. Joe Biden, on COVID-19, Donald Trump said that maybe if you drank bleach, you may be okay. He didn't come anywhere near saying that.
So that's the Biden quote about Trump.
Yep. He said that. He said that. And that's what he usually follows. He said that. That's a quote. I'm not joking. You think I'm not joking. PolitiFact's ruling, mostly false. Here's why.
Okay.
Joe Biden criticized President Donald Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic, saying during a speech on the ceremony that Trump had given up trying to manage a crisis he's ill-equipped to solve. And when it comes to COVID-19, after months of doing nothing other than predicting the virus would disappear, or maybe if you drank bleach, you may be okay, Trump has simply given up, he said. Our ruling. Biden said Trump said drinking bleach could help fight the coronavirus. Trump did not specifically recommend ingesting disinfectants, but he did express interest in exploring whether disinfectants could be applied to the site of a coronavirus infection inside the body, such as the lungs. We rate Biden's claim mostly false. I mean, that's a pretty fair take there, especially from an organization like PolitiFact, who leans so far left that they fall over on the ground every time. That's how far they lean.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, every time. So it's amazing. He keeps getting away with it. He keeps saying it. It doesn't matter. He really, honestly doesn't let any fact get in the way. So congratulations on that. That's your president. Makes you proud, doesn't it?
Oh, my gosh. That is the word that comes to mind.
Makes you proud. Bursting with pride.
And what are we at on the... I haven't checked the counter in a while.
You could go to my camera, Joe.
Yeah.
Have it up.
Are we still at the 270 days?
270 days, 5 hours, 16 minutes, 47 seconds.
That's going by way too slow. I thought time was flying by, but when you look at the counter,
get there faster.
And it's pretty synced up with our normal clock, so
yeah. Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be a lot closer.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Speaking of lies, though, I think it's worth talking about what happened in court the other day with David Pecker, a guy who's really aptly named. We talk about some people who are not so aptly named, like Joy Behar, Joy Reid. Those people, those are misnomers.
And you're talking about David.
Sonny, yeah.
His name's David.
Right?
That's what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yes, his name David.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clarification.
Just doesn't fit him, you know?
No.
Looks more like a Bob.
Bob Pecker.
Or a Pete Pecker.
Peter Pecker.
Like Peter Pecker. Wouldn't that be good? Peter Pecker pecked a pack of pickled peppers. Something.
Richard Pecker.
Anyway, he's the publisher of National Enquirer. And he admitted in court. I mean, it's way too late for this, and everybody knew it at the time. But to hear his admission the other day in court was really stunning to me. And it's just so disappointing that it happened on, on the right. It makes me sad. But he admitted that he just completely made up the story about Ted Cruz's dad, Raphael. Remember that? When he said that he met with Lee Harvey Oswald because he was from Cuba and Oswald had dealings with Cubans. And so I guess they thought they had an opportunity there. So they made up this story that it might have even been Raphael Cruz who had something to do with the assassination of JFK. Jeez. Just made it up. Why did you make it up? Well, because Ted Cruz was getting some momentum. He was doing well in the polls at the time, so we had to do something. That is despicable. It's ugly. It's a lie. And I think Ted Cruz has shown he's pretty generous with the way he treats Trump now after having that happen to him.
Without question.
Right?
And that's not even getting into the way Trump dealt with Ted Cruz's wife.
Oh, right. Right.
Hey.
Yeah. Unfortunate. And bears, I think, repeating that just was an ugly time in the campaign, for sure. When you're just making up stories and putting, I mean, nobody believes the National Enquirer is the most factual of all publications, but still, you'd like to think they just don't make things up whole cloth. Well, they do. They do, and they did. And basically, it was at the behest of Donald Trump, supposedly, according to Pecker. But here we are. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Frankly, I'm going to vote for the guy. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump anyway. So this doesn't change my vote. It's disappointing. And the pro-Hamas, speaking of disappointments, good gosh, I couldn't be more disgusted with some of these people. And it's especially the younger generation right now. They're so easily led around by the nose. And right now it's this pro-Hamas thing. I read a really good opinion piece. See if I can find that. About what's happening with millennials right now and their support of terrorism. I mean, it's literally gone beyond just supporting Palestine and too many civilians being wiped out. They are physically using symbols of Nazism, like the swastika, against the Jews in Israel right now. So, and they think that's okay because now what they're saying about the swastika is it's not a symbol of evil right now. It's a symbol of anti-genocide. No, I'm sorry. You can't use a symbol of genocide to be anti-genocide. You can't do that. The Nazi symbol is really symbolic of the Holocaust, where they killed 6.5 million Jews. Now you're using that to prevent a suicide or a genocide?
That
Come
is
on.
so pathetic. Before the
really
Nazis,
pathetic.
It was a symbol of good luck. If you can believe that.
American Indians or something used it, right?
It's like you can't go back. I'm sorry. That brand no longer belongs to good luck.
No.
Yeah. And you sure as hell, you talk about
can't do it.
Mental gymnastics.
Yes.
Are you for real?
It's a way that they're justifying their anti-Semitism and their hatred toward Jews. They're just allowing the fact that, yeah, we hate them, but there's good reason. It's okay that we hate them. Hitler was right about that one thing, is really what they're saying. That's really what is being said right now.
I mean, Marge Schott was drummed out of Major League Baseball for, 0.01%? The attitude of the people that are on these college campuses right now?
Yeah. But that shows you how far we've come.
No kidding.
When was that Marge Schott thing? Was that the early 2000s?
Late 80s.
Oh, it was that long ago?
Yeah. Marge Schott, Hitler. I want to get the exact quote. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to find it here on the fly. But she was banned from managing the Cincinnati Reds, let's see, Major League Baseball, let's see, due to racist comments. And again.
Yeah, wasn't she the owner? She had to sell the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now our little darlings in college campuses all across the country are using the Nazi symbol as a symbol against genocide committed by Israel. Wow, is that... You never thought we could get to this stinking place.
So
holy mackerel.
They are, oh my gosh, the things being said on college campuses right now, physically barring Jewish students from entering buildings, praising, you say, the swastika. I hadn't heard that. Here's her Marge Schott's Adolf Hitler quote. He was okay at the beginning. He just went too far. Get out!
Oh, wow.
Get out!
Wow.
I mean, that's bad enough.
Yeah, it's bad enough.
It is absolutely bad enough.
Nowhere near as bad as what's going on right now.
That's the point.
Nowhere near.
Oh.
So these Hamas protests continue nationwide. The other day at Columbia, look at these mentally ill people. This.
Oh my gosh! And they're not even going to
performance art.
Yeah, they're not even going to have to pay for going to college. You're paying for that.
Yeah.
They are...
How weird is
this?
this?
The mental institutions have been relocated to college campuses around the nation.
Yep.
This is just... What are we doing?
All this justifies anything that Hamas and the Palestinians are doing to Israel. Okay. I don't even know. What do you... What is this supposed to do? What do you mean? Wow, that's bad. And an NYU student the other night, check this out.
And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
She honestly doesn't know.
I'm pretty sure they're...
Doesn't even know why she's there.
Listen. About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Why are we protesting?
I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
I wish I was more...
Unreal!
I was there up at Columbia and we came down.
I can't. You know she's stupid. She's got the nose ring. Okay, first of all, that's stupid. Secondly, neither one of them even know why they're there.
Yeah, so did you catch that, though? Like, we heard that they needed more students down here, more help, so that's why we came down. Well, that's a good sign. They needed more people down there
that is
to help protest. But you can tell who's been in this stupid Hamas hole movement longer. It's the people that are wearing masks. At first I thought they're crazy leftists. They're wearing masks any chance they get. No, they're just hiding their identity is all they're doing.
Yeah, why
That's
do you need to do that? If this is such a worthy cause, why do you have to wear a mask?
Right, and so the nose ring chick shows up there. She's not indoctrinated fully yet. I don't know why I'm here. Yeah, you're not wearing a mask yet. Just wait. You'll learn.
And we both wish we were more educated. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it should be. You're going to NYU. I mean, that is basically, it's on the level of an Ivy League school. And these stupid kids have no idea why they're even there.
I mean, they are
You would think they'd have more intelligence than that, wouldn't you?
Would you?
But no.
They are the very definition of useful idiot.
Yeah.
And they are, congratulations. You are helping to perpetuate evil in the world. That's what you're doing.
And here's an NYU professor.
Yeah, I don't think we have time for this.
Oh, is he too long? All right. So we'll get to that in a minute here. I mean, the protests have spread to UT campus in Austin, University of Texas, which is, yes, a pretty liberal place to be, especially in Texas. But it's in Austin, which is like the San Francisco of Texas.
You know, I tweeted out the other day, and I said something like, I never will look back on history and say, how did they get there? How could people be this blind to evil?
Now
How did that happen? Yeah. Oh, my apologies to the past, because here we are. So much for never again. This is.
Yep.
What's next, man?
Never again is right now.
Sure is.
888-900 3393. Don't forget, we got Steve Baker coming up bottom next hour, and a really fun overtime for you today.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got to take a minute here to tell you about Patriot Mobile, because for over 10 years now, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they're just fantastic to partner with. These people really put their money where their mouth is. Glenn and the team have been great supporters of this show. It's just one of the many reasons we're proud to partner with them. They offer dependable nationwide coverage. They give you the ability to access all three major networks, so you get the same coverage as you would with the others, but you don't have to fund the left when you're with Patriot Mobile. When you switch, you're sending the message that you support free speech, religious freedom, sanctity of life, Second Amendment, and our military, veterans, and first responders. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching really easy. You can keep your phone or get a new one. You can keep your number or get a new one. Whatever you want, they'll help you with that. And make sure it fits your budget. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat, or you could call 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation when you use the offer code PAT. Join me and make this switch today to Patriot Mobile. patriotmobile.com or 972-PATRIOT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
And a few tweets here. I am Bird Mama Tweets America is on life support. If Biden gets a second term, he pulls the plug on America. Sure feels like that.
Well said.
Striker 1B, my hearing must be going. I thought Rickety Joe said 4 more beers. Got to get my hearing checked.
4 more beers.
Hero Alita, I'm pretty certain they're chanting no more years, not 4 more years.
That's what they need to be saying.
From Skip Willis, I'm astounded at how the pro-Palestinian people were all about safe spaces on campuses.
Mm-hmm.
Now nowhere is safe on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not ironic. Safe space was a big, big deal. In fact, the godless animals at the University of Utah needed a cry room. Remember that?
Right, yeah.
It's a place they can go and cry and have a little privacy with their tears.
Boy, I tell you, I want to hear somebody go and ask these students their thoughts on Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's the next man on the street stuff we need.
Yep. Keith's endless hat supply. Millennials are easily led by the nose because they all have that stupid nose piercing.
It's all coming together, y'all.
All right. So we were about to play the New York NYU, the New York University professor who was addressing what's happening, and here he is. NYU.
And I do think there is a double standard. I walked by NYU last night. What I saw was peaceful protest. But I can tell you, if I went into the NYU square with a white hood on and said, lynch the blacks or burn the gays, my ID would be shut off by that night. And I would never work in academia again. There would be no need for the words context or nuance. I wouldn't be protected by terms like First Amendment or free speech. I would be out of the world of academia. It seems like we have a double standard when it comes to hate speech as long as it's against Jews.
And we're not just talking about the exercising of free speech and protest, which we agree people have, and there are spaces on campus for that. It's what they're saying is the harassment of Jewish students.
Yes.
So what is that? Why is there that double standard? Because, of course, you're right. You don't even have to say it out loud. If these things were being said about black people or gay people or Latinos or Asian or anybody else, forget it. Shut down the school. Everybody's expelled. Why is there still that double standard?
I think it's complicated. I think, one, young people have a healthy gag reflex on what people our age think. And I think that's healthy. Two, I don't think Israel has draped itself in glory over the last 20 or 30 years. They've shifted from being kind of the David to the Goliath. I also think that incorrectly students on campus conflate the civil rights movement with what is going on in Palestine and have digressed, unfortunately, because of an orthodoxy promoted by me and my colleagues that there are oppressors and oppressed, and the easiest way to identify oppressors is how white and how rich they are, or fairly or unfairly. Israel is seen as ground zero for whiteness and how wealthy they are. And then what might sound paranoid, but doesn't mean I'm wrong. I think we are being manipulated, specifically youth, who their frame for the world is TikTok. And if you look at TikTok, there are 52 videos that are pro-Hamas or pro-Palestinian for every one served on Israel.
Wow.
I think that we are being manipulated. I think Americans are easier to fool than convinced they've been fooled. But if I were the CCP, I'd be doing exactly the same thing. I think social media is sowing division and polarization in our
52-1. 52-1 pro-Hamas videos on TikTok to pro-Israel.
That seems a bit disproportionate, doesn't it?
Boy.
Fascinating. He makes some really good points there. And, of course, we all know it's true. But you do wonder, how can this happen? How can this be? Now, all of a sudden, Nazism is good? The swastika is good?
I seriously, I need a Benny Johnson or somebody, Savannah Hernandez, someone show up at NYU, Columbia, wherever these protests are happening, Southern California yesterday, UT Austin yesterday, and just ask to these people that are out there, the pro-Palestinian protesters, what are your thoughts on Adolf Hitler? That's it. That's it. That's the only question. Let's just let's start generating those viral clips, those montages. That's what people need to hear, because I think, I'm probably wrong, but I think if you can start associating, because that's the guy that you need the face of this movement to be, because that's exactly who they are. And so I think if you can start showing these protesters for what they are, anti-Semitic Nazis, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Just have them talk about Hitler off the cuff. Let's go. And I think if you get some of that out there, then maybe we can start to have less people at least show up to these events, and maybe they dwindle away. I hope. I don't know.
Again, back to that opinion piece I was reading, and I can't find it now.
Do you remember who wrote it?
I don't. But she was talking about the swastika and how that's a new symbol now for the left. And it's an okay symbol. It's fine because it's against genocide. Is it? Okay. But she said that the left has now conflated all of these issues into one, and it's now all under the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas banner. Everything is connected. Intersectionality has combined with pro-Hamas garbage, and she called it one-thingism. It's all one thing. It's all part of the same whole. And all this evil has just conglomerated into one big blob called one-thingism.
I think
so,
I
all
part
part
of
of it
for you.
Did you?
Yeah, why not let me just hand it.
All right.
Telegraph article?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe.
Be easier just to do this.
Yeah.
Right? Does that look right?
I think it might be.
I did see him.
Yeah. It wasn't long ago when the activist left had a whole laundry list of systems and impersonal forces that it was battling against. Sexism, homophobia, white supremacy, ableism, you name it. The millennial left may have nodded along to Bernie Sanders' old labor left leanings. Still, they largely abandoned the class struggle of old for a struggle against boutique oppressions that were contingent but intersecting, hence the rise of so-called intersectionality. Okay, so she talks about how all of this is now merged into one thing for the left. And that's how they've made the swastika okay, because it's part of the same oppression. And you can now apply it to Israel rather than that being a symbol of the evil that killed so many Jews.
And the left tries to say they're all about individuality and be yourself, and that is such garbage. Because the second you step out of line and go against the grain of popular opinion, they slap you down.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why the left always wants a cause. They always need something to rally around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so humorous that you'll see people's profile pictures on Twitter or social media. You know, first it's people wearing a mask, and then it's people bragging about getting the shot, and then it's people waving the Ukraine flag, and now it's people waving the pro-Hamas flag. I'm sorry, the Palestinian flag. Anyway, that's what you're. They are so groupthink,
mm-hmm.
and they are the sheep on the left. That this is their brand. It's whatever the
Yep.
You know what? It's what Steve Deace refers to, spirit of the age. It's exactly what it is. It's a dangerous time for not only our country but the entire planet, quite frankly.
No doubt. And yesterday, the nationwide protest shifted to Austin, Texas, as we mentioned. Here's a look at what was going on at UT yesterday.
Move back. That sounds familiar. Move back.
Yeah, it does. From the elite bicyclists in Miami.
That's right.
They're employing that here.
There's Austin. So they finally got organized down there.
Golly. Yeah. Jeez. A cameraman was arrested.
Okay, so watch this guy with the camera. Does he trip? Is he pushed? Does he push? Either way, it was a long day for that guy in the blue backpack. Right there, watch him.
Oh boy. Oh,
You're coming with us.
Oh my. Oops.
Who are you with? I'm with Fox 7.
Fox 7, what's your name?
Carlos.
Carlos, what do you think of this?
I think it's, they were pushing me, and they say that I hit an officer. I didn't hit an officer. They were pushing. You know what I mean? They were pushing me.
I'm a legal observer. What's your name and date of birth? We're going to send attorneys to you.
You can't get my name or date of birth. I don't care who you are. Legal observer.
Right.
What the hell's a legal observer?
No, it's never happened to me.
No.
You know what I mean? I was just covering things. And
did you tell them you were the press?
Yeah, I told them that I was the press.
I love when we get over here to the paddy wagon.
I was not hitting nobody.
Yeah.
What's this? Look at all the freaks lined up here at the paddy wagon. This is so fun. Look at it. Look at that chick. She's fun.
She is fun.
Got a mask on the other one.
So,
okay, so go play it again from the top, Joe. Watch the cameraman again one more time. Is he pushed? Does he trip? Does he lunge? You tell me.
Okay, he's out of sight for a second here, and now we don't. Oh, that guy! Yeah, that guy pulled him away.
No.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Watch.
Just watch the blue guy. Just keep watching him.
I am.
He leans in. He shoves against that cop.
Oh yeah, he did.
With his camera and his elbow.
Another cop grabs him. And pulls him
another
out of
cop saw him do that. I don't know what he's doing. He's like leaning in, like, that was.
Yeah, not cool. All right,
you're coming with us.
He barely deserved it.
That's what I think. I don't know. Is there a follow-up to Carlos, the cameraman?
There's so much hypocrisy here. Need to keep an eye on this Representative Wesley Hunt from Houston.
Oh, yeah.
He had some words about liberal hypocrisy the other day that are definitely worth playing.
Much like the vast majority of liberal policies, this rules for thee and not for me. And apparently that also applies to COVID lockdowns and mandates. It was okay to make exceptions for when the left believes was a righteous cause. The left said it was safe for 100,000 people to protest. 100,000 people in the middle of a pandemic. But they were giving you grief for letting people sit on the beach or paddleboard in the middle of the ocean. Why?
Why?
Because in the case of the George Floyd protest, it was a righteous cause in their opinion. And by the way, it wasn't just protest. It was rioting. It was looting. It was attacking and burning a police station in Minneapolis. It was rioting in front of the White House to such an extent that President Trump had to be ushered into a bunker. And all this was acceptable because it was deemed righteous by the left. Speaking of righteous causes, let's take a look at Black Panther. I'm sorry, that's Kunta Kinte. I'm sorry, Nancy Pelosi, Wakanda forever. This is the absurdity of the COVID-19 lockdowns, liberal mandates, and of course, even a little cultural appropriations. This is very ridiculous. We must never allow something like this to ever happen again in this country. It's why we have a constitution in the first place, to protect us from the exact type of government overreach that we saw during the pandemic. No matter what side of the political aisle that you find yourself, you should always be on the side of freedom and preserving our rights via the Constitution. And that's why many of us walked away from the pandemic and the protests that followed, asking the question, were the COVID restrictions really about public safety, or were they about winning an election? You decide.
I've already made that decision, frankly, but thank you for asking. Why haven't we seen this guy before?
Yeah, that's
good
what I was
stuff.
thinking. That was good stuff. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Wesley Hunt.
Okay,
Representative. Houston.
Definitely keep an eye on him for the future because that was good stuff. All right, making sure you have fruits and vegetables in your diet, enough anyway, really important to maintain your health, but it can be kind of hard to get those 3 servings every day. The average person doesn't eat half of the recommended servings in a day. That's a huge gap in our nutrition. And frankly, inflation has seriously increased the cost of fruits and vegetables. That's why Balance of Nature is there. They've got the solution.
Boom.
An on-the-go solution. You'll get these little bottles of, these are fruits, these are veggies. Comes a blend of 31 fruits and vegetables.
So wait, I don't have to go to the grocery store, the produce aisle, and
you don't
wash them and cut them up and cook
Try
them.
to figure out if you even want kale anywhere in your body. And you don't have to worry about the taste going down, but you do want the kale in your body because it's good for you. This is the perfect way to do it. And when you go to balanceofnature.com, you'll get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets with your first order as a preferred customer because you're here with us. Use the discount code PAT. That's limited to 5 sets, but you'll save a ton of money while getting the fruits and vegetables you need in your diet. So go to balanceofnature.com, use the promo code PAT, and get 35% off. Balanceofnature.com.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Steve Baker coming up in studio in a few minutes. So bad are things right now with these pro-Hamas protests that the GOP is urging sending the National Guard to protect Jewish students on campuses. That's how bad it is right now. If this was directed against Muslims, can you imagine the hysteria that would be going on? And the chastisement about what a hateful, bigoted country, Islamophobic we are. Josh Hawley and Tom Cotton called on Biden to mobilize the National Guard to protect Jewish American college students. It's so despicable that that's even necessary. Hawley wrote in a letter to Biden, on college campuses across the United States, Jewish Americans are at risk. In your statement on Passover, you stated that in recent days we've seen harassment and calls for violence against Jews. This blatant anti-Semitism is reprehensible and dangerous, and it is absolutely no place on college campuses or anywhere in our country. Now you must take action to match those words. You must immediately mobilize the National Guard and any other authorities necessary to ensure the safety of Jewish American students and citizens. Hawley referenced Eisenhower's 1957 executive order 10730, which deployed the Arkansas National Guard and 101st Airborne Division to ensure the safety of black students at Central High School in Little Rock. Wow, we're to that point. We're basically at that point right now.
Yes, we are. Yes, absolutely we are.
He goes on to say, never again means never again. Yeah, except it doesn't. It means that until such time as we decide, it's passé. We're trying to protect Palestinians now, and so the annihilation of Jews is fine. In the minds of these leftist freaks, these radicals, that's what's going on. KJP the other day wanted us to know, whose show is she on? Is it?
I don't know.
It's not Wendy Williams,
Sunglasses
right?
Show. It's the one where she put on the.
Oh yeah, we played that part yesterday, I think, right?
And and we made the comment. Boy, I bet that was a hard-hitting interview.
Yeah,
well, I think it's called Sherry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they really got into it here.
Oh wow,
good stuff.
All right, let's hear it.
Stuff.
We're trying to get that because the job is hard. The job is hard. And it's hard not just for me, but for all of my colleagues. It's a difficult job, what we're trying to do on behalf of the American people for this president.
It's hard.
And so it is not easy. And so sometimes we try to have a little bit of fun.
Yes.
And so right before I walk out, we try to loosen up a little bit because what I'm about to experience at the podium is, I'm telling you, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a journey.
It's going to be a journey. Right? It's going to be a journey.
A journey.
Unreal.
So
do you feel bad for her now? She's a victim. She's a victim of the hardness of this job.
You know what I need?
You know why it's hard? Because she is so stupid. That's what makes her job so hard.
Right.
She's so butt stupid that she can't answer any questions.
This is a hard job, according to KJP. Is you walk out there with a binder
filled with everything you need to know.
Filled with everything. Okay,
You're just going to read from that.
Ask me a question, Pat, from the Associated Press. Pat.
Why does Biden continually stumble at these press conferences?
Blink, blink, blink. Find the page.
You're looking for the page.
And then you just read verbatim the answer that has been preordained in my big book of everything.
Yeah, or if you know that's not in your big book of everything.
Yes.
Then all you say is, I don't have anything on that.
I don't have anything on that.
I got nothing to add on
Refer you to the State Department, or I don't have a readout on that call.
That's hard?
Woo!
No.
Woo!
That's not a tough job. It's tough for her, because, again, she's butt stupid. But it wouldn't be tough.
I don't have any intelligence.
I'd forgotten that one. Play clip 24, Joe. I mean, this right here is not in the context of KJP, but really it is. Clip 24, Stacey Abrams.
What we know is that the attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, is an attack on democracy. It's an attack on education. It's an attack on how our economy works.
It's all one thing.
Yeah.
So it's an attack on
KJP
all the stuff they believe in.
Is DEI.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
How dare you
I don't have any intelligence.
That is perfect.
Yep.
You know, things have gotten so weird and so bad with the youth in America right now that Google has actually fired people because they won't behave at the office. Wow. They're so political, and that's all they think about and talk about and want to do. is push their stupid climate change agenda or whatever agenda they have. And so Google has been forced to, I think they fired last week or the week before, they fired a bunch of people. They just fired 20 more workers because they're participating in protests denouncing the company's cloud computing deal with the Israeli government.
All right.
Again, if you've even been to Israel, you're going to be canceled by these people.
No kidding.
So the total number of workers fired in the past week because of their stupid political issues, over 50. Over 50 employees at Google.
That tells you everything right there.
Sure does.
It tells you how far left Google is, that they have this many rabid leftists embedded there.
Yep.
And then so far left that Google had to fire them for their political stances. That's incredible.
It is.
Wow.
It's amazing. It tells you where we are as a society. We're in a frightening place where even Google is getting fed up with the garbage going on at work. Huh. Hey, how about we just ask you to do your job? How would that be? Can you handle that? How about stop your protest, put the sign down, and, I don't know, do your job that we hired and pay you to do?
So now the question is, do these 50 or so employees organize, head back to Google headquarters and protest out front?
Probably.
Oh, we've got
and
Zionists
Google
in here.
Caves immediately if that happens. I'll bet. Okay, can we... You know what? We made a horrible error. We fired that person who fired you. How about we give you, I don't know, $100,000 bonus. You come back, and we raise your salary. We double your salary. Would that be okay?
Yeah, George Soros is already paying for these protests.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll pay for their protests, too, at Google.
And you can work from home. And you can protest anytime you want. Well, they'll cave. Oh. Steve Baker coming up with an update.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Give us a little extra. All right, we are joined now by investigative reporter at theblaze.com, Steve Baker. Steve, welcome. It has got to be fun to be you right now, and for the last couple of years.
Man, it is more fun than a barrel of monkeys, as they say.
Yeah. I'm not sure how fun a barrel of monkeys is, but I believe it's more fun than that. I really do.
Yeah.
You've been all over the January 6th cases, of course, and the insanity from the federal government. And you yourself are battling for your own safety, freedom, liberty. What's the latest on your case?
The latest is I have another status hearing in early June, and basically we will just be going over some motions that are being filed. Like, for instance, just last week, my legal team filed a motion to have all of my pretrial restrictions dismissed.
Oh.
Like get rid of them. And I have very few anyway. I have much less restriction-wise than most January 6th defendants anyway. I was nonviolent, misdemeanor charges, but I'm allowed to travel to D.C., which other January 6th defendants are not allowed to do.
How many people did you kill?
47.
47.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that is less than some
only
people.
two of them were cops.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
the rest
that's
were
not bad.
protesters, actually.
That's not bad. All right.
Interesting day you had, January 6th.
Yeah, it was a big day.
Yeah. Because the pile of bodies really, it was significant, I would say.
We managed to hide those, though, in Pelosi's office after we got all the protesters out.
Yeah.
You can actually see me on CCTV cameras, me and Officer Harry Dunn carrying the bodies into her office.
Harry Dunn.
Remind me again of what the charges in your case are. Because is it 4 misdemeanors?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first one is the glorified trespassing charge, entering a restricted space.
Okay.
The next two are basically redundant, saying that I use loud and abusive language, which did not happen at all. I mean, this is just
loud and abusive language.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the video.
Wow.
Yep. It just did not happen. And then, of course,
Unreal.
the fourth charge is the most evil one of all. That's the milling charge.
Oh, you did get charged with milling.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, we've been on a crusade against the millers.
Yep.
In
I hope
fact,
you know that.
I'm surprised that Pat let you in here. He's been so pissed about the milling stuff.
So upset.
Parading, picketing, and milling.
Yeah, parading's bad enough, but when you start to mill, I'm sorry, I'm done with you at that point. I'm just done.
Sorry.
Yeah. We'll make an exception in your case because you work for the Blaze, but
milling.
It's hard. It's really hard. Get charged with milling. Who ever heard before 3 years ago? Who ever heard of a charge of milling or parading?
Yeah, not only that, Pat, but here's the definition of milling.
Okay.
So this is illegal. To move around in a confused mass.
Wow.
So you're supposed to stand still.
Yeah.
And then you don't get charged.
Well, I did. I did stand still. I stood still and I took notes. You know, we've seen it all.
Did you shift your weight while you were taking notes?
I did do that.
That's
I actually
what
set my
got
backpack down.
Okay.
That's what got you.
All right.
Yeah.
Now the honesty comes out. Finally.
Don't shift your weight because then
milling
they see
and loitering.
Loitering.
You also wrote an interesting article just recently. What was that? A couple of days ago. That no good deed goes unpunished. Tell us about the stalking situation that's happening with you. What's going on there?
Yeah, I don't. This newfound attention that I have is now bringing some of the crazies out of the woodwork. Actually, the last time I was here in Dallas, I was doing Sarah's show, and we were taping there, and then I went back upstairs to my computer, and I sat down at the computer, and I had emergency notes coming up on our Slack channel going, you got a stalker outside. Security just scared him off. Well, this guy had flown in from Atlanta and to here. When he got to the airport at DFW, he actually did a selfie video that he posted on X saying that he was going to come here and he was going to confront me and Beck because we were, part of the, this underground mafia that's trying to overthrow the government, trying to take down Trump.
Oh, really? That's scary.
Yeah, and
people can be nuts.
Yeah, and so then he posted another video the next day from Daily Plaza.
So he specifically flew from Atlanta here to confront you.
Yes.
And he chronicled his little journey to get you.
And then he was video live streaming from here in the parking lot, walking around the building.
Oh my gosh!
With another sidekick of his that he had picked up here locally in Dallas.
He picked up a sidekick in Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're
this Batman that came to confront you?
No, but they were milling in our parking lot.
Oh, wow!
See?
Wow!
See?
This is all connected.
And fortunately, one of our security guards went out and scared him off.
Wow.
And that's not the only one. I mean, I was sitting in a courthouse in D.C., and I was there covering the sentencing hearing of the Oath Keepers, actually, back in May. And this lady who was convinced that she has 20 brain implants that's been put in her head by the government.
I hate when they do that.
No. Yes.
I hate when
it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wouldn't write about her story, and so
you bastard.
I know. So she got on a plane from Chicago because I had posted on my Twitter feed that I was going to be covering, the sentencing hearing, and so she knew where I was going to be.
Wow.
All of a sudden, I walk out during one of the breaks, and she confronts me in the hallway. I have to finally tell her, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to have the U.S. Marshals, escort you out of here.
Are you not interested in the 20 brain implants she has? You don't.
Wait, I thought it was 30. Is it 20 or 30?
20.
It's 20.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Don't exaggerate this problem.
My brain implants aren't working.
The more interesting part of her story was that she has, for 20 years now since this began, she's every single doctor that she has gone to have these removed have all refused because they're afraid that they're going to be assassinated.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
You start removing brain implants that the government put there, and you're going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah.
That's almost as bad as milling, but not quite.
It's on the same level, I think.
So she was so insistent that you cover her story. Yep. You had to call for help, right? You called the authorities.
Yeah.
To have her escorted out.
She was actually getting loud and aggressive in the hallway at the courtroom, and I'm like,
wow.
No more.
Yeah.
What is a day in the life of Steve Baker like? Is it high stress? I feel like you got a lot going on, man, and I just don't know how you do it.
You know what? I have so much support. I have so many friends. My kids are great. I got to see them this weekend for the first time since Christmas and since my arrest, so that was great. It was a needed time for me and them to have together, and they support me. And the reality is that every morning I wake up, I have so many interesting things in my pile of stuff to do.
I bet you do.
That I'm excited to dive into it. You know, I mean, just last week. I mean, last week was probably the most significant time I've ever spent in D.C. I mean, I got to attend the Supreme Court hearing and sit in the press gallery at the Supreme Court. Never done that before.
Is that over the J6 case?
Yeah, that was over the 1512 C2 thing that they're going to be ruling on here very soon. So I got to hear those arguments, and that was exciting because, especially because Gorsuch and Alito were having none of the government's argument. They were just boom, 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 just shooting them down one.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
another.
about that because there's some important things being decided right now.
Yeah, that was a good clip that we had from that of Gorsuch talking about interrupting a official proceeding. Like hypothetically, if someone pulled a fire alarm,
that was such a great moment because everybody is so quiet. I mean, it's church mouse quiet in the Supreme Court, room, and so when he said that, those of us in the press gallery, we were all kind of cutting eyes at each other, and eyebrows were going up. It's like he landed one there because everybody knew what he was talking about.
Does that seem like it's going to end up the right way?
I think so. The impression I have, in fact, I have a story coming up about that here in a day or two. I just submitted it yesterday. But the impression I have is that at the very least, it's probably going to be a 6-3 ruling in the favor of Fisher, the defendant, or the guy that brought the case to the Supreme Court, and that will affect over 350 January 6 cases already that are in the pipeline or already have been convictions, sentenced, all of that. So there's going to be a lot of work and a lot of cleanup work for the courts to do.
So would this
when
be a
this
mass
is finally
release?
done?
A mass release of people that have been...
There have been several released already because the dirty little secret is that in chambers, these judges, even though most of them are hardcore leftist kind of guys and, Obama appointees, Clinton appointees, whatever, there's a couple of Trump appointees as well, but they believe that Supreme Court is going to scuttle this. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So they're letting people go.
Yeah, and so they have been letting some people out. They've been delaying trials that have this charge attached to their list of charges. So there's a lot of things already happening as a result of this. And then by June or July, when they issue their ruling, we'll know for sure. But I think it's going to be 6-3. Could go 7-2 because even Jackson of all justices, she even expressed some doubts about how it could be abused.
Interesting. Wow. Well, that'd be great, right?
Yeah.
You're going to free up some people at least. Has anybody discussed the fact that this wasn't an insurrection and nobody's been charged even with insurrection, right? Has anybody been charged with that?
No, nobody's been charged with insurrection or, terrorism or anything of that nature.
And yet it continues to be labeled as such.
Well,
by the media.
that is the narrative. I consider myself a misdemeanor terrorist now. So that's kind of. Yeah. I've reprinted my business cards, and so that's what it says now, misdemeanor terrorist, because it's a new designation in the law. Apparently, if you listen to the left.
Wow.
But this is just like the thing we were talking about earlier with bleach and Trump. Never said it, but of course, perception is reality. And if you attach a phrase or a word to something, whether there is no insurrection, there's been no charge of insurrection, there was no bleach. It's just you've got a willing accomplices in the media pushing these narratives, and eventually repeat a lie often enough, right?
Yep.
It becomes the truth.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we see in all of this stuff. It's so frustrating.
More with Steve Baker, investigative reporter at The Blaze, in just a minute. First, let me tell you about Eden Pure. Eden Pure is back with their famous Thunderstorm air purifier. It's their top-selling air purifier. Quickly destroys viruses, odors, mold, and an awful lot more. In fact, let me share with you some people who feel really strongly about it. Got some testimonials here. If I can find where I put them.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Really?
That's not them right there,
Really?
is it? What is that right there?
Oh, there's some.
What we got there?
I put them where I could get to them easily, of course, and then forgot that I put them where I could get to them. Anyway, got this from Mark F. who says it just works as described. Odors disappear quickly because it's been running and the air is already activated to soak it up like a sponge. Prevents mildew and mold from forming, developing around my siding glass door, too. And people love how quiet it is. You know, it's so obnoxious when you got machinery that keeps you awake or is disturbing all through the day. This runs almost completely silently. They're fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, so quiet.
Go to EdenPureDeals.com. Use the discount code PAT3 and you'll save $200. That's Eden, E-D-E-N. EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code PAT3.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Back with Blaze journalist Steve Baker. You wrote an article about the FBI's knock and talk policy.
Mm-hmm.
What should Americans know about what's going on right now and what they should know before answering the door?
We're seeing it all over the country,
especially at 6 a.m.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, well, that's a different one. When they show up at 6 a.m.,
they're not asking questions.
The guns are already
You better
out.
hit the ground, hit the floor,
right,
because you're in trouble.
Hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah,
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's happening all over the country. It's happening every day. People are being confronted by FBI agents, and of course they don't show up anymore in the suit and ties and the old G-Man or Joe Friday look, the button down. They're showing up in casual clothes. They look like your friend.
So you don't know who's there when they show up like that, right?
They flash their badge and they they do that deal but they generally tell you at the door that, look, we're not investigating you for any crime. We just want to talk to you about some of your social media posts and comments. And basically, we're just here to check some boxes. And that's the line that they give you. Wow. And then if you open the door and start answering questions, you may be making a big mistake at that point. The best and certainly the most the safest thing you can do is to immediately say, no, my attorney's not here right now, so we won't be able to chat at the moment, which is exactly what I did when they called me the first time back in July of 21. I got a call at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was a phone call. The special agent said, this is Special Agent Garrett Doss with the FBI, and we just wanted to, talk to you. He said, and he actually said this. He said, I see that you're speaking at an event tomorrow night just outside of D.C., and I'm wondering if you'd be there early enough that you could sit down with us for a couple of hours and talk to a couple of our guys about, your day on January 6th. And I said, well, actually, I am going to be there early. I said, but unfortunately, my attorney's not going to be there. And he goes, oh, yeah, okay, well, we can work that out to when your attorney's available.
Wow.
But that's the only answer when they knock on the door.
Right.
That's it.
People are afraid to do that, though, right?
They are, because they want to be cooperative.
Yeah.
Right. And that's your first instinct with any law enforcement is, I better be cooperative. And of course,
and I've got nothing to hide.
People have to retrain. It's sad, but it's true. Americans have to retrain their brains to not look at a representative of the government as a friend. You know what?
Yeah.
No. I'm just you look at them suspiciously and you just say, my attorney will handle this. And if
they give you any flack, just tell them to show up with a warrant.
Right. What did Reagan tell us 40 years ago? He said, 9 more dangerous words.
Yeah. I'm here from the government to help or something.
Yeah. And I'm here to help. Yeah, no, that's not true. It wasn't true then, and it's not true now.
So how many people so far? I try to keep this running total. Do you know how many people approximately have been convicted of some sort of crime on January 6th?
I think the conviction range right now is somewhere close to 900. There's been over 1,300. We're getting close to 1,400 arrests so far. They've been actually ramping the numbers up recently. And they are going after, more and more misdemeanor cases. It's shocking and surprising, especially when you consider and go look at the FBI's January 6th most wanted list. There's right now about 100 identified actual what they call AFOs, assault on federal officer, parties that they haven't arrested, and they know who they are. They know their name, they know their address, they know where they work, and they've not arrested them, but they're still arresting people like me.
Why do you think that is?
Do you want me to answer? I think we'll be thrown off the air.
Is your attorney not present? Is that what the problem is?
That's right. I'm sorry, Keith. My attorney's not here. I cannot answer that question.
I swear.
This must be costly, too. I mean, to have an attorney available at your disposal to just show up when the FBI wants to talk to you. That can't be, can't be cheap.
No.
And I think that getting back to the FBI, what they call knock-and talks, I think it's sad. This is where we're at in our country's history. You got to tell your kids the same thing. If someone shows up, I don't care who they are.
If you're sending them to a public school, they're going to be asked questions by their teacher because they're going to be suspicious, and then you're going to have child services showing up at your house.
Yeah.
You got to tell your kids, don't answer questions.
Don't answer questions.
Just don't answer questions.
Well, it's so weird, too, that they're knocking at your door to just ask you or talk to you about your social media posts.
And that actually,
that's un-American.
It is. It is
completely un-American.
100%.
And the guy that I describe in this particular story, who had the knock and talk, he lives down in San Antonio, and he has no violent or no threatening posts whatsoever. He was just commenting on the guy that burned himself, out there in front of the White, set himself on fire in front of the embassy, rather. And he was just commenting on that and saying, hey, if you guys feel this way and more of you want to set yourself on fire, I'll stand behind you. I'll fully support your protest. And that's all he said. Yeah. That was it. And 2 days later, he gets a knock at the door.
Wow.
But the funny thing about this particular knock and talk is he was catching it on his Ring camera, of course, and his floor mat or his doormat actually says,
"Come back with a warrant."
Come back with a warrant. and so the two FBI agents are standing at his door, and they look down at it, and then one of them goes, "That's pretty funny."
That is pretty funny, right? Yeah. and see that actually that story specifically gives me some hope in all this mess. It really does. Because, yes, they're checking a box, which means the Marxists that are really in charge of the country right now have sent out this directive. They see a post. It has nothing to do with the post. They think, you know what, we might get this guy on something. Let's go there and see what happens. Maybe he'll lash out at us, and then we can make an example of him. Look at the right-winger crazy guy who attacked FBI agents or whatever. But the FBI agents themselves who go there check the box because in his case, he also said, I told my attorney, I gave him the number. My attorney they won't return his calls or her calls. Anyway, and so there's no follow-up. So maybe it is just a box check, and then they can get on with their lives.
But I'm going to tell you, this is the level of fear that the FBI is imparting. Not only are they scaring citizens from being active and speaking out and throwing a wet blanket over the First Amendment, but they're also scaring media away because this particular individual who got the knock and talk, when he posted the video to Twitter, he was contacted by a couple of our friendly competitive media sources, and then they pulled back and backed off and decided not to do the story.
Wow.
And I went, oh, heck yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, wow.
Man.
I ain't scared.
That's okay.
They've already done what they can do to me. So
yeah. Well, not quite yet.
Yeah.
Well. You still have a trial coming up, probably.
Jinx it.
Right?
Don't jinx it.
Now, have you decided yet? You probably haven't decided yet whether or not you're going to take a plea deal or are you actually going to go to trial?
We haven't gotten a plea deal yet. I expect
they haven't offered anything yet.
Not yet. I expect before our next status hearing in June that we will have something by then. My instinct is to not accept anything that they offer me out of principle.
All right, probation for 6 months and $1,000 fine.
I mean, that's going to be tempting just to make this go away.
Right.
But
it would be to me.
But is that going to be the best thing for the country?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, do you feel like that's almost you saying, yes, I agree, I did something wrong. Screw them. Let's go.
But on the other hand,
you
don't want this hanging over you anymore,
I'm not living in your shoes, man. I don't know what it's like every day.
With jail time, actual imprisonment on the table, it's pretty tough to do that out of principle.
I mean, it just sucks that in this country, you can't just say, well, they'll sort it all out, and Steve will be treated fairly, and this thing will all blow over, and they'll get it sorted out. No, not under this government. I feel for you, man.
It really all comes down to the clicks. If we get a lot of clicks out of it, then
you're a team player.
I can do 6 months. I can do 6 months for a lot of clicks.
Yeah. The dopamine hit you get from the clicks will carry you over in prison for 10,
I'll wake
15
up
years.
every day excited about that.
That's great.
Just maybe you'll have a view of the courtyard or something.
All right, you want to hang out on overtime and talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Oh, man, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Did you bring your horn?
No. He didn't. He comes to defend horns and music.
I retired. I retired from music.
Because I understand that you had a problem with my saying that I like Chicago in spite of their horn section, not because of it. Right? You take exception to that.
Yeah, we should get into that.
Yeah, we should.
Awesome. You're going to hang out with us.
All right, we will. But, Chicago, at least they finally wound up in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. What was that, 2-3 years ago? Somewhere in there. Sure. And Foreigner this year. Are you a Foreigner fan? Or?
Yes. In fact, I love their saxophone player.
In Urgent, that's a great sax riff.
See?
That is tremendous. Yeah. What was that? J.J. Walker? J.J.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
BlazeTV.com. Use the promo code PatOriginal. Save $30 off your subscription, and you can get overtime with
You'll
Pat
be a
and
part
Steve
of it
today.
Mm-hmm. Except he didn't come with his horn section.
Yeah, they were really disappointed in that.
Kind of disappointing, but
you could have packed that in your overhead.
We'll get into that, as well as an article I just read about one of the Hall of Fame inductees this year who was completely undeserving. We'll tell you who this, at least according to this author, who that undeserving inductee is. It wasn't Cher, I'll tell you that. A little hint there. Not Cher, Cher in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Please. We'll get into that and lots more coming up on Overtime. And see you back here tomorrow for the MH370 show. You don't want to miss that.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.